All right, guys, this will be a fun one. I was saving this for, I was going to do an off-airport tips and tricks 2 video at some point, which I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. Forgot completely about it. Was cleaning up some folders the other day and came across this clip again, and I'm like, oh man, this is too good. I got to post this. This was 4.5 or so years ago, and not my finest moment. I think there's some stuff to learn, so I want to go back in time and share one of my dumber moments. Anyway, I'm going to roll that intro and then we're going to watch that again and we'll break it down and talk about it.
So tight trying to get in here. Holy shit!
All right, guys, let's break down and talk about this. All right, so what led to this super close call? Well, probably, a few things. A couple of bad decisions, also the wrong frame of mind. What I mean by that is this was quite a few years ago. I hadn't been doing off-airport all that long. I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year. I'd been kind of getting into it with the S6. And at that point, you just got this, I had this real just overzealous fire to go out and just land everywhere you can, and it's almost like trying to prove something, partially because I'm doing it in an airplane that really isn't designed for it, and I think that kind of factors into it. And just whenever you get into something, a lot of times human nature, you get really into it, want to dive in head first, right? So I think those were some contributing factors, and just having a little bit too much of that I'm gonna do this attitude instead of maybe I'll do this after I look at it thoroughly. And I did look at that spot pretty good. The problem is, it's hard to see it on camera, but it's a deep canyon, it's steep, the approach is bad, that airplane doesn't have much flap, so it's hard to get down in there slow. And I missed a couple of things when I was flying over it and looking at this spot. I knew it was really short, and I knew the approach is tough, that's obvious. I didn't see that it was wet, a little bit slippery, and I didn't see it was a little bit downhill, and I didn't see it was a little bit rougher than I expected. So all those things factored in. So here I come, I make this approach in, I'm a little fast because I just can't get down on that canyon wall and get slow enough. So I miss my touchdown spot by a little bit. I touched down a little bit fast. It's a little bit slicker than I thought. It's a little bit downhill. So that all led to obviously just about running into that bushy tree thing. So what should I have done different? Not landed there. I mean, what was the point? There wasn't a pot of gold down there. I know, I land a lot of crazy places now in the S7. There's no pot of gold there. It's hard to justify why I land there. I get it. But this spot especially, I mean, it was super tight. It was going to be tight when everything went right. And not really the right airplane to be doing it in. So shouldn't have landed there. But if you're going to land there, what should I have done different? Gone around. As soon as I touched down, realized, hey, I'm a little fast, I'm a little long. I missed my spot. It's rough. I got that picture all real quick as soon as I touched. That should have been it. Just get out of there and go around. So I think that's the other big takeaway here. So it kind of looks like I should have been able to just turn out to the right and miss that tree, but it wasn't really possible. There was another one of those back on my right side, and so this was really the only line. By the time I passed the one on the right side, it had been awfully hard to make that sharp of a turn to go around it, especially while sliding. One thing I could have done, though, is shut down the engine as I'm sliding out towards it. Might have minimized the damage a little bit had I actually contacted the tree. And I think part of it is also something I like to call mental scenario planning, and that's where you really think through all the possible scenarios you can come up with. It's never as good as going out and actually practicing it and, and getting that hands-on experience for different possible scenarios. But if you think stuff through, when the crap hits the fan and everything's happening fast, at least you have something that your mind may revert back to and to go, okay, I thought about this. If this happens, I'm going to do this. I go a lot of one-way spots where you can't go around. This wasn't one of those. Why did I not go around? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I think it just comes down to I hadn't really thought about it. I had the mentality of I'm going to land there because I know it'll fit. I know I can do it. And didn't stop to really think, well, what happens if an animal runs out? Or, I land long, or the brakes aren't working, or whatever, all these different things that could go wrong in that instant when you touch down. I hadn't done that. And otherwise I would have said, I'm out of here. I'm going home. And a lot of the stuff you guys, you've seen some of in my more recent videos where I've gone out to places and tried to land there. Conditions weren't right, or airplane was configured too heavy, or whatever it was. So it came back at another point and then landed in some of those tough spots. And I think that's just some of that over the years and the experience and making thousands of those, probably, good 1,500 off-airport landings or whatever. A little more selective, a little more careful. And that isn't to say I couldn't screw something up. I absolutely still could. I don't want to come off sounding arrogant like I've got it all figured out now just because I've been doing this for a while. It's not that. It's just more of over time, you get a little less overzealous and you get a little more careful and you're a little more selective. I've been there, I've done that. I've landed really cool spots. Just because I see another spot I want to land, it's different now. It's not like I gotta land there. I just have to do it. It's like, yeah, maybe, or maybe I'll come back. And I think that's just some of that experience that you gain over time. And the toughest part of all this is deciding, in my opinion anyway, is deciding how much to bite off without biting off more than you can chew. In other words, you want to challenge yourself. If you're not doing stuff that's challenging, you're not getting better, at least not very fast. Flying in circles and landing on long paved runways, that's fine. I'm not knocking it. But you're not really sharpening your claws in the realm of what we're talking about here. You've got to go out and actually do this stuff, right, to get better. But the trick is, how do you challenge yourself enough to get better without over challenging yourself and bending something or getting hurt? And then I think over time you kind of dial that in better and better, knowing where your limits are, being able to look at a spot and say, yeah, that's a challenge, but I can handle it, or deciding, no, the conditions today aren't right. That's too much. I'm coming back. And that is the key to all of this, in my opinion. So anyway, those are just some of the takeaways I got from it. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. If nothing else, hopefully it was entertaining. I kind of laugh about it now, but at the time it took the wind out of my sails for a while. I'll just say that. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Appreciate you being here. Patreons, thank you very much. Also, I've got a few of you guys that have subscribed through YouTube itself, and I didn't want to leave you guys out. Thank you for that as well. All of that kind of support is keeping this thing going. I don't know what's going on with my views anymore. I see YouTube, they keep removing my views over and over when I put up videos, unless I put up a video without monetization, and then the views are a lot higher. So I don't know what's going on. It's just some weird stuff, but I appreciate you guys helping out any way you can. Subscribe to YouTube, Patreon, nothing else, drop me a comment, a like, share the video, all the BS, but it all does help, and I appreciate it. So yeah, you guys, thanks a lot. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.